So good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me. My name is Rachel Pratt. I am Vice President of Operations for BEX, and you are getting a nice download of the DATABEX platform in this webinar today. And I will start off by just kind of getting an idea of where I should guide this particular webinar. We have a geotechnical engineer, a landscaper, design firm. SWI does architecture, right? Do they do engineering as well?
Or civil engineering firm.
Just engineering, okay. And then we have, let's see, landscaper I got already. And then I'm not sure what Heidi does. I'm still trying to figure that out. Sorry, Heidi. All right, well, let me start by sharing my screen so that we can all get an idea of what we're doing in here. There we go. Okay, so this is our DATABEX platform. This is our dashboard, and on the dashboard, you can go straight to some of your lists, like your saved searches from this button, or your followed projects from this one, your interested parties from this one, and then your project notes here. Mostly what you'll find in the actual dashboard is the keyword search, and then we have an on-demand webinar that you can watch at any time. And below that, we have our main search buttons. So a search button for projects, companies, contacts, solicitations, and then a map, which searches projects by location. We do have our main navigation up here, which is going to get you to all of the searches from projects to companies, contacts, and solicitations. You can search projects by detail, by keyword, by location, which is our map search, or by the recent activity of our researchers. So the projects that have been recently added to the database as well as updated. We also provide custom reports. So if you're looking for a specific report with specific information that we don't have already in here, you can request one and we can get those accessible to you. And then we have a manager tab, which is going to be at least one person assigned to your account will have manager access. And what that does is it enables them to add licenses, remove licenses, add users to their company, that kind of thing. We also have a help site that I just launched, and it has a knowledge base of information related to the database. So if you ever have any questions and you want to figure something out, we can dive into that in just a minute, and I'll show you what that looks like. You can also contact me directly or Rebecca from here, and there's an email and phone number for you to contact us at any time you need help. And then of course you have your account information here, which has all of your saved information about your specific account. All right. One more thing at the top here, the project ID search. What we do here at BEX is we track the actual project by a project ID number. And it's just like a 4-digit number. It's super easy to remember. And all you have to do is if you have that number, you punch it in here, press enter, and it takes you straight to that project profile. Down at the bottom of the dashboard is the list of recently added projects. So if you just want to see what we recently put into the database, here's that list for you here. And you'll see a lot of tables in this particular database. And they're all kind of organized in the same way. You have sortable headers for each of the columns. So you can sort by project name, owner, when it was added, ID. This one doesn't let you do market, unfortunately, but you do have other places you can do that. You'll also see a download data option as a CSV or as a PDF. Like I said, this is for any of the results pages. Where you get a table, you will be able to download the information as a CSV, which is definitely compatible with Excel or most CRM systems, or as a PDF that you can print out. Okay, so let me go ahead and let's start off by checking out some of the basic project searches. I think our easiest way to get information is by searching by project details. That gives you the most options and filters and for criteria that you want to, really hone in on filtering your project list. So you'll see here where it says Save Search. Saved searches are really important in this particular platform, not just because you can access the information all the time and you don't have to put the same criteria in, but these are saved to your account. And we have something called a digest, daily or weekly digest. And what it is it's a program that runs all of the saved searches in your account and then returns results to you that are new to the database, so new projects, or recently updated projects in an email notification on a daily basis. So you kind of like set your criteria, like send me all the projects every day that fit this certain criteria. Bam, there's your saved search. It's going to give it to you in the daily digest. So those are really nice. All you have to do is click the save search, type in the name. Let's call this, what should we call it? Let's call it multi-family in design. Yeah, there we go. Helps if you can spell and type. Okay, so now I'm saving this search as multifamily design. And what that means in my head is I'm going to go ahead and set the criteria to look for multifamily projects that are in the design stage. So there's definitely other ways you can get, or other ways to use this form, but that's the one I'm thinking of just for the demonstration. If you're looking for a specific project, we have a couple ways you can do it. One is you can search by project name, or you can use the keyword search, which is accessible from the top menu. It's also on the dashboard right next to the webinar. If you wanted just a list of all the projects by a certain owner, that's definitely an option. City, state, zip code, sector. So if you're just looking for private projects, that's an option as well. If you're a design firm or a general contractor, we have a specific button that will only search projects that have that contract available. Excuse me. So you would definitely say, I want that design contract available if you wanted to search for projects that have that particular opportunity for you. Method of delivery, this is just something you can use if you're looking for a specific project. I wouldn't use it so much as a large list of projects just because a lot of them haven't been selected or decided yet. Project status is definitely one of the most popular options to search through because it's definitely something that is important to business development in this industry, is to get that project information at the right stage so that you can approach the right people. So if you need to contact a design firm, you want to make sure it's in design, or at least the design contract is not available. We can also have, if it's under construction, we have a planning, pre-construction, completed. Some people are looking for projects that are completed and under construction. So there are definitely project statuses that you can choose from in order to find out when the project is or where it is in the stage of its life. And market's probably the next most popular one. We have sorted everything in mostly a vertical and horizontal kind of category. We also have kind of subcategories beyond that. So maybe we have horizontal utilities, and then we have another one with this just dry utilities. So if you wanted everything vertical, all you have to do is select vertical, and it will pick up everything underneath it. If you just wanted hospitality, you could do that as well. And it'll pick up hotels, resorts, and casinos, as well as restaurants, sports, performing arts venues, and theme parks. So if it has hospitality in front of it, it'll pick it up. But if you just want specifically education, K-12, and charter schools, you can narrow it down. So there's definitely a selection process that you can choose in order to get the right information that you need. Divisions, we do offer a division search as well. It goes to the first level of divisions only. So if you're looking for something very specific, you got to go to that first division category. That's all that we have provided at this time. If you have a sweet spot, or if you're looking for projects at a certain valuation, we also have that available as a filter. You have a low or a high. You can do either or both, as well as square footage. So low or high or either. If you want to just reset the information, you can do that and it just clears the whole form. But for the purpose of this demo, I did say I was going to pick multifamily construction because that's still hot, believe it or not. Vertical multifamily, and we want to check it out in the design phase, and we want to search. So now I have a list of all these projects. I can do a couple of things. I can download this information as a CSV, and you can see I can open it up in Excel, and I get a lot of information from these downloads. Something you wouldn't expect is that this list will give you the design and construction firm assigned to the project when they are actually selected. Most of the time in design, the contractor has not been selected, so the prime contractor is most likely blank, but there are a few that are already selected. So here we go. The project ID I mentioned, that's going to be our first column. We have a project name, the owner, the valuation, city, zip, state, status, not state, status, as well as the market sector, square footage, and then, like I said, the design firm, prime contractor. And then these two over here, you can follow these projects, and I'll show you where that button is. And what that does is it enables you to get notifications whenever that project is updated. And then you can also get the time it was last updated on, or the date it was last updated on. So you get a ton of information in here. This is very useful to upload into your project management systems. For contacts, you can use your CRM system or whatever you need this type of information for. It's very useful. Good for analytics. All right, let me keep going here. So like I said, these headers are sortable. I can sort by project name, I can sort by owner and see if there's multiple owners that have more than one project out right now. Like this one, for example, Alliance Residential has the Broadstone City North and the Broadstone Uptown Phoenix. And you can see by this eyeball here that's purple, that means that I'm following this project. And you'll see that in here. If you are following the project, it'll give you the little eyeball highlighted in purple. And then the details button will take you to your project profile. All right, so this is a project profile. First thing you're going to see is a rendering. When they are available, we will smack a rendering up there for you to review, to look at. It's a great visual reference. And then if it's not showing correctly, because it is cutting it sometimes, you can just click on the rendering and it'll open up the full view for you. And just below that is the timeline. This is a very customized timeline just for DATABEX. What we've done is we've kind of mimicked what a construction schedule would look like, but more in a very simplified manner. We have a planning stage, a design stage, and then a construction stage. So over here, if you hover over these little sections, this is a plan review. It was in plan review from 11/26 to 12/18. And then we have it in design at 12/19 to 1/31. And then you can see we have construction estimated from 2/1 to 2/28/23. This little indicator is the today indicator. So you can see just from a quick glance, this is a multifamily project. It's got all these different finishes on it, and it's just at the end of the design stage, just about ready to start construction. So a little further down, you're going to see this guy here, which is going to give you the name of the project. It's going to give you the project ID that we've assigned to it. So that's the one, if you want to just type in here at any time, it'll bring up that project profile and you don't have to go through any of the search filters. You'll also see a PDF option here. This is a printable PDF of the project and it gives you lots of good information. It'll bring you the rendering, the project name, the project valuation, the address, the owner, any of the status notes, stuff that I haven't even gone over yet. The project type, the project valuation, the description of the project, a detailed description of the project. We also include a timeline in a table format. So that timeline that we looked at earlier, same thing, it's just, it's in a table format. And then we have the project status as well as a status note and any previous status notes, which I will cover in just a minute, as well as the contacts for the project. And the contacts include the company, the person, as well as their title, their phone number, their email, the right people to talk to, not the gatekeepers. And then of course we have our map, which, you know, doesn't need a lot of explanation. The divisions are listed here, and then if there are any solicitations, they are listed down below. Anyway, that's what you can print up. It's very easy to use. Now remember earlier I mentioned the following project. This is where you would follow the project. Right now I'm not following it. If I press it, the little eyeball turns yellow, and now I know I'm following the project. And what that does is it adds it to my account. And like I said earlier, anytime this project is updated, you get an email notification with that update and a link back to the project. You can also submit an update. So if you were able to get information that we hadn't got a hold of yet, you can definitely send us that information. Or if you have a question about the project, this will send an email to me and I will direct it right to the researcher to identify whatever it is that you need clearing up. Okay, now these two stamps below, it says last checked on and last updated on. These two stamps are a way for us to communicate to you of how often we're checking on this project and when we're getting updates. So we did check on this project on 1/5 of this year, and we also got an update on the same day. So that's why these numbers or dates are the same. If we checked on a project, but there wasn't anything changing, it was still kind of in the same status, the same people, then this would not have gotten an update and the date would have remained to the previous update. Hope that makes sense. All right, this block here will give us the latest status. If there were any solicitations, we would have them below that bar here and it would give us the actual status of the solicitation. Then this one is probably one of the more important ones. It gives you the latest and greatest status note. And what the status notes give you is the time that we talked to let's try that again. It gives us the person we talked to, when we talked to them, and what they said. So anytime we get an update, we definitely put an update in the status notes to give you an idea of what's happening with our project at that moment. So you can see that we added an article on 1/5 of 2021, and per Richard Barber with Orb Architecture LLC on 8/27/20, it restarted last week and it's scheduled for an 11:30 submittal. So that's what we have for the history. We got the previous status notes, and you can open those up and see what we've done in the past and who we've been talking to, what they've been saying, and you get a history of the actual project. Excuse me. Below the name block, we have the on the job. This is a quick way to look at the project and go, okay, who's the owner, who's the design firm, and who's the prime contractor? And they're all labeled right here for you. The project details are next. We'll give you the method of delivery, the square footage, the estimated valuation, what sector, the market, and the address. And then a brief project description. We will give you a detailed description underneath where it'll give you lots of details about the project, as well as any other additional notes that we want to add. Divisions, they're listed here, and then below that are the contacts. So we found it imperative to make sure that we talk to the people. We want the people, not just the companies, on these projects. So we get to the names of the project managers and the project architects and the owner and the person, the construction manager, those types of people. Those are the people that you're going to find on the database projects. And these are also downloadable, and you can download it as a CSV or a PDF. Now the PDF is kind of cool because it actually prints it out for you as little cards like they're shown. So there, that's what that looks like. You also see a stamp here that says prime contractor, and then another one for design firm for a quick, easy glance at who's actually the design firm and contractor. Okay. Below that, you'll find our map. It is interactive. You can pan, you can zoom in or zoom out just to get a bearing where you are. And then we have files. So we do strive to get all the plans and specs for these projects. We will also track any articles that we write in the ASBEX magazine. Anytime we ever write about a database project, we actually pull that page from the article or from the article section in the magazine, and then we upload it to the project. So we have a history of all the articles that we've actually published on that particular project. We also collect any municipal documents. So if it goes to through planning and zoning or city council, permits, that kind of thing, we will grab those and add them to the municipal documents. And then we collect the renderings as well. So these are most likely preliminary renderings. You can view or download these, and that goes for all the files. Download or view. And you can see that there is multiple pages here. So just keep that in mind. There might be multiple pages that you're not seeing. I'm going to scroll back up to the top here. We did leave off on this side from previous status notes. So below that, you'll find links. Now, what the purpose of the links is to give you a external URL source or an external website that maybe the owner has created for the particular project. That way we can kind of link it for you and that you have access to it. We also track any solicitations that are coming through for public projects. This is pretty normal. We'll track all the design professional services requests as well as the construction contract requests or construction requests. We also collect sub-bids. So if there's a sub-bid request coming in, we will add it to the solicitations as well. One of the neat things about this database is that you can actually use it to track projects and information. So you can use, we have a notes section that lets you keep private notes or shared notes. And the private notes you can just see for yourself. So if you add a private note to this project, it'll be here the next time you open the project, but no one else can see it. If you share it, it'll be shared with your teammates. So when they open up this project, they'll see that project note as well. When you do share a note, you do send an email, or the system sends an email to your teammates. So anyone else in your company that's a user that can access the database gets an email saying that you left a shared note on this project, so they know to go and look at it. And when they are in there, they show up underneath private and shared, so you can see which ones are the ones that your teammates are seeing. Associated projects is a way for us to communicate that this project is related to another project. And one of the biggest examples I can think of is when a master plan has multiple projects underneath it. We'll list the master plan as well as all the other projects underneath it inside of the associated projects. And this last one here is called the interested parties. This is a way for you to communicate with other database users that you have a service that you'd like to provide on this project. It doesn't send these contacts emails and letting them know, but it does let database users know that you're interested in this project. So you can see that we have Bryce Patterson with Gray Bar, who is definitely interested in providing divisions 26, 27, 28, and 33. So if there was another database user that maybe was going to bid on this project, he could definitely reach out to Bryce. And that kind of concludes the project profile. There's a lot of good information in here. And I'm going to move on to another search. So the keyword, it's pretty simple. It doesn't search documents that have been uploaded. So that's one thing that I want you to keep in mind. So if you're looking for specific building material or something like that, it's not going to get picked up unless that information has been manually entered into the project. What works really well here is things like something you would find in the project descriptions. For example, parking garage, or even CIP. So if you're tracking public projects, we have a keyword set up for CIP so that you know it's a capital project. Now, search by location. This is our map search. This one's set up a little differently than the other searches in here, because what it does is it opens up a Google Maps of your current location, because it'll probably ask you if it can check out your current location. And then, excuse me, then it'll plot all the active projects in the database onto that map. And you can just pan around the map to go wherever you need to go to inside of the map. We also do have a couple of filters added to it as well. This one will do market sector, and it'll actually show all the projects you're following or completed and canceled. By default, it will not add in the completed and canceled projects. Give it a second. It does take a minute. Excuse me. I got a scratchy throat today. One thing I do want to point out is that this particular field right here, where it says type a partial or full address, is a pan feature only. It will not filter. It only pans. So it tells you, okay, I want to go to Apache Junction. And why aren't you typing? Come on. All right. Okay. So I can go search, and then you can see all the projects have populated. There we go. So now it's going to move everything to Apache Junction. Oh, it didn't. Things are moving really, really weird right now. Let's try this one. Mesa should work. I cannot type today. I think sometimes when I drink too much coffee, I get worse. I get a little jittery and everything starts to move a little faster than my brain. Or the other way. Okay, come on. It's not being nice to me today. It's freezing. There we go. So now it's actually panned the map to Mesa. And it'll plot all the projects. I think my Wi-Fi is dying. All right. One other thing that you can do is actually filter by market sector. So maybe I just want to see, let's see. Let's check out where all the medical office buildings. And then I go search, and then it's going to filter that down. So now I'm in Mesa and I'm looking for MOBs. And apparently there isn't any in Mesa at the moment. But you can see now it's filtering down those MOBs, and I can see just the locations of those. Now, something really cool about this particular function is that you can create customized lists of projects that you can either download or print. And what you do is, I want to say, let's hover over this guy. Just click on him. It's going to give me the name of the project. Oh, okay, it's a medical center on Shea. I want to add that to my list. Check that box. And what it does is it starts to populate a table down below the map. I want to add this one to my list. There it is again. And let's add this one in there too. Now I have 3 projects that I've added to my list. Now I can download this as a CSV or as a PDF. So I've got a way to actually customize a project list. Okay, so that kind of sums up the map feature. Recent activity is just going to be those recently added projects and the recently updated projects. So you just click on that one because that's the one I want, and then you're going to see the most recently added projects. So today we've added these 2 projects this morning for City of Avondale, and we can see we can go right to the project just by opening it up. It's the latest one we've added in. We don't even have an image available for it. It's fresh off the CIP. It's very early in its status. Okay, we can see it's a public safety substation from the CIP. So we're adding in CIP projects here. But you can see we can get information. We already have a contact. And we can also do the same thing for recently updated. So anytime we get an update on project, all the people that are following the projects get an email sending them out a link to the project details, project profile. Okay, let's keep going. So we've covered the project searches. We got details, keyword, the location, and then the recent activity. Let's dive into companies. You can see I have another menu over here for just shortcuts to all the ones that are in the top menu. There's also a search active bids, which will take you to our solicitation search for anything that's currently bidding. So if you're looking for a particular company, you can use this form. It's a shotgun or sniper approach, right? I want to find, let's say we want to look for Sun Construction. It's going to pop up some options. I'm going to select the one I want, and then I'm going to search. Or I can get a list of companies. Let's say I want general contractors that are in Arizona that do retail. I can do that as an option too. So do keep in mind that all the projects in this database are only tracking Arizona at this time. And we also have a minimum threshold of $5 million in construction valuation for the project to actually make it into the database. All right, so here's our list of companies that came out of that. I can download this information as a CSV or as a PDF, or I can open up the details and go to a company profile. Here we have Brycon Construction. All right, we have a list of all the markets that they work in, the company type, as well as their URL. Over here, we have a Chandler office location with address and fax and phone. Keep in mind that the only time we actually have offices or contacts in a company in the database is if they're either associated to a project, some of the key employees, or their database users. So here we have Director of Business Development, and then we have project managers who are all assigned to at least one project. Now I can open up one of these. So let's go to the details for Don Helton. And now actually, you know what? Let me try this. This makes more sense. I'm going to open up Jeff Rayner. Oh, no, didn't work. Let's try that one. Okay, there we go. So Jay Graham, he's a project manager. We have an email. We also have his LinkedIn. We have the company he works for. So if you wanted to go back to that, you could. We have the office he's located in, as well as the address and the office phone. But if you look over here, you're going to see related projects. So this is the project that Jay has been assigned to. And in some of these contacts, you'll have a huge list of projects that they're on. So that's a really nice way to start conversations about projects that you're interested in actually working on when you have a list of projects that that same person is on. All right, so those are the contacts. These are downloadable as a CSV or PDF. And then if you look below that, you're going to find active projects. So these are the active projects that Bricon's currently working on. The University Business Park expansion in Tempe, and then a toy barn in Chandler. We also have a list of completed projects. So anything they've already completed will be on here as well. Now this database only goes back to 2016. It's a fairly young database, but it is definitely much better than some of the ones I've seen out there. So you can link, or you can go to the project profiles from here as well if you wanted more information. If there was an associated company, it would be listed here, and that's our way of telling you that this company and another company are either the same company, maybe they were acquired, or they are actually the same company that they just created an LLC for property proposal or something like that. But it's just our way of communicating to you that this company and this company have a relationship. And just like in the project, you can also create notes on companies. Same rules apply. You can create a private note, which only you can see, and it'll stay on that project, or it'll stay on that company profile for you to see in your history, as well as an option for a shared note, which you can send to your team members. All right. So that'll show us our company profile. Let's keep going. You can search contacts. So if you have a name or an email of someone you want to particularly find, let's see. Let's go with Anthony Jeffers. You can also do by company or company type. But let's go and see what we can find. So we have Anthony Jeffers with Hensel Phelps. We're going to click on his details, and then we'll find the contact details. And you can see he's on a lot of different projects here. Okay. Now I'm going to move on to solicitations. So searching by solicitations, it's default to open solicitations only. So it's just looking for the ones that have an opportunity currently available. If you would like to search other solicitations for maybe an award or firms that had submitted, we do list those as well. Remember to change this to display all or closed, under review, whatever it is. But you do need to keep in mind that this is only searching current open solicitations. All right, so you can search by owner. Maybe you're looking for any openings or bids that are available for ASU or City of Phoenix. You can do market sector as well. Let's try horizontal. Let's do highways, roads, and streets. Let's see what ADOT's got going on. You can also do by city, the request type. So if you're looking for a design build or sub bid requests, if you are a subcontractor, we do track those sub bid requests. Or if you're looking for a particular solicitation number and you have that number, we have an option to search for that, as well as when the due date is from a low to high and a pre-submittal date. So if you're looking for pre-submittal dates coming up, you can do that here. But for the demo's sake, let's go ahead and see what ADOT has currently open for horizontal construction or design. So right now that are open, we have Bouse Wash Rest Area Rehabilitation. They have an IFB and then an RFP for I-10 Broadway Curve Improvement Projects. Let's check this one out. Right now we're opening, right, that was the actual project. Details will open up the solicitation. Now we have that timeline of the actual project here too. So it's a nice, easy way for you to reference what's happening with the solicitation on the project. So this is an open RFP for traffic signal plans. We have a contact, always have a contact for solicitations. And then of course you can check out the solicitation details, which include the due date and time, a reference number, a description of the project solicitation, It'll tell you if there's a pre-submittal conference, and if there is, it'll tell you when and where, and any notes on the project that we found that is important for you to know about the solicitation. We also have any related solicitations, so you can see we have a history of solicitations for this project that are all closed and awarded at this time. When they are closed and awarded, we do give you the firm submitting, and it'll list it here, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. But we do keep those solicitation files down at the bottom for you to view or download. Now let me show you what one of these looks like when it's closed and everything's been awarded. Design build should be. Okay, so here's the design build request that is closed. We have a procurement schedule for this one. It was a big one. And then we have the firms that submitted, right? We have Flatiron, F&F, Granite, Kiewit, Police, and Sun. Now I know for a fact that a lot of these actually joined as a joint venture. And it will tell you right here, we always add it to the notes. When they add as a joint venture, we add them to the notes, but we don't always create the joint venture when the firms submit. So we have Arizona Mobility Partners, which was a combination of Granite, Sun, and Parsons. And then Kiewit Infrastructure West came in with HDR, and Police, F&F, Flatiron joint venture, which I know was actually the ones that were awarded this contract. And that way you can see that, yes, they were awarded, and they were awarded as a joint venture. And again, solicitation files. You also see we have the shortlist announcement and an award announcement too. Okay, so that covers the solicitation. So we've gone through the project searches. There is some other things I'd like to touch on, like, let's see, let's go into the manager. Now, there is always a manager assigned to your account. They're the one that we usually connect with when we need to make sure your subscription is renewed or whatever it is. But most of the time, it's just one person that wants to say, okay, I need to add a user. I need to remove him. He's no longer with us. And I need to give his license to this person. So that's what you can do in the manager section. If you need to add a person to your company, to your users, you add them here. And it'll just give you an option to fill in their name and all their criteria and stuff. And then it adds them to this list. And then you can go in and say, okay, I want to edit that person and enable them to have access. And it's going to ask you if you want to put them in as a manager or not. And then you just save it, and it will look like, oh, wait a minute, what did I do? Let's go back. There. And then it'll look like this. So yes, they do have access. They are not a manager. And what that looks like then is you can actually send them an invitation. So you can see there. Now you can send them an invitation to set up a password, and voila, you have a new user. All right, let's back up. Oh, I did the same thing, didn't I? Okay, also on the manager tab, you can check out your company profile that we have for the database and make sure that it's up to date and correct. If you want to make any changes, you just send me a note, contact Beck, say, hey, this person's no longer with our company. Okay, we'll remove them. If you are active in the project section, you will have projects here and any offices as well. So if you did want to request an update, that's where that button is. I apologize. You can use this one, or you can request an update here. The last thing you can do on the manager section is actually check out the access log. So you can make sure that the people that you have assigned to use this are actually using it. And you can see when they're logging in and how often. All right, next one I want to go over is the help site. Like I said, this is brand new. We just launched it, and this is pretty much my formal introduction for a webinar that we haven't had yet. So lucky you guys. This is the DATABEX help site. Now, this is going to be a ton of knowledge-based articles for you. So if you ever have a question about something, you just type it in here and you're like, okay, how do I add a user again? You can just go users. Oh, adding users and assigning licenses. Then I can click on that and I got a knowledge base of it, and it gives you step-by-step instructions. So in addition to the knowledge base, we also have an option for forums. So if you did want to start a forum and ask a question to get answers, I will be on call to answer them for you at any time. And of course, we have videos. I will be posting videos about tutorials on how to do things in the coming months. For right now, I'm just including a standing DATABEX webinar, which is just an introduction to what you're seeing today. And of course, if you need more help, just shout out to us, support@aspects.com. All right, let's jump back over to the database. Now, I want to cover everything in your account. Now, you've seen how to use the database and what it can do, but now I want to show you all the information that you have inside of your account and how to use it. So inside of my account, I have my profile, my account preferences, and then it shows me the users that have access and no access to my account. Account preferences, you remember earlier I was talking about saved searches and how you could have a daily digest or a weekly digest? This is where you can switch between the two. If you don't want any of them, you can press save. If you want to switch to weekly, just click on the weekly and then press save. If you don't want to get the shared note notifications that your other teammates are sending out, you can also disable that here. All right, and now I want to go down to project notes. Now, project notes and company notes look exactly the same. They're just ones for projects and ones for companies. So what you'll see is option for download, of course, a list of all the projects, the note that was actually shared, as well as whether it was shared or private, when it was sent, and obviously you can delete them from here. I believe this one just deletes it from this list and not from the actual project. You would have to go into the project to actually delete it from the project. All right, next, company notes, looks identical. Following projects. Now this is a really good one to know. This is going to list out all the projects that you're following, but one of the really cool things about it is that you can use this to start tracking information or tracking your projects, almost like your own CRM system. So you can add tags to any of the projects that you're following, and you can edit whether or not you want notifications on when they're updated. So if there was any particular reason you didn't want to know when that project was updated, you can disable those notifications here. But the tag system is what I think is really, really cool. You can assign dates to these projects and then know when you need to follow up, and then leave a note in the project on what you need to do or who you need to call. You can also unfollow the projects from here. I just think one of our subscribers actually uses this as a CRM system. So it's literally replaced their CRM system. So they add dates, they add all kinds of, they have a very sophisticated tagging system that they've set up for their projects in here. So I just thought that was really cool. You search for the projects right there, and let's see. So I want to find all the ones that have a Sally tag. There it is. Now I have 2 that have a Sally tag. So that's how you can use it. You can set up a date here and just search for that date, and then all the projects with that date will show up in your list. All right. And next one is interested. So this is just a list of all the projects that you're interested in. You can go to the project from here, or just remove your interest from here. And then the last one I want to show you is saved searches. So remember, the saved searches are what give you the information on your daily and weekly digests. You can search the saved searches from here if you wanted to get that fresh list, or you can edit the criteria. Maybe you're not getting the information that you want from that particular search, you can edit the criteria here. So I can just go to edit. And then I'm like, yeah, I want to make sure that construction contract is available. I can save it. And now I'm going to get a new refreshed list of projects sent to me every day with that criteria. Okay, so that kind of sums up my presentation for today. And I'd love to open it up to questions, or if you want to give me an example of something you want to search, I can definitely do that too. Let me just make sure you all can talk. All right, does anyone have any questions that I can cover for them?
I think Rebecca answered mine in the chat.
Perfect. Healthcare and Flagstaff search. Sure, let's do that one. All right, so I'm going to go to search projects by details. So I want to go to city, and I'll put Flagstaff. And I want healthcare, so I'm going to go to the market and go to vertical healthcare and search. There we go. So we have 4 projects for healthcare in there right now. We have under construction, 1 completed, 2 under construction, 1 in planning, and 1 completed. Was there a particular one you wanted me to open up and show you?
Exceptional. I read that in one of your articles a couple weeks ago.
Okay, yeah, we can open that one. All right, so there is no rendering available yet. It's pretty early in the stage of the life of the project. You can see here we're in planning. We've estimated. We made sure we put that estimation in there because you know how things change. And it's in the planning stage. Looks like they have selected a design firm, but they have not disclosed it. And the developer has not announced the design or construction team, construction timeline, or the exact location. Aha. So they're telling you, we're gonna do a healthcare project in Flagstaff, but we're not gonna tell you anything else. It's a new 20,000 square foot hospital in Flagstaff. Matches the previous exceptional healthcare hospitals that will include 10 emergency exam rooms and 10 inpatient rooms with associated support spaces and a warming kitchen, lab, and imaging area. Divisions assigned to it and our contact, Bruce McVeigh. And we have that article. There's that article. So that's what we have on this one. Of course, since it's so early in the design phase or in the planning stage, there isn't going to be a lot of information available, but there is definitely something to go on. Was there anything else I could do?
No, that was cool. All right. Just wanted to see how it would work. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, so if there is nothing else that I could show you, I'll wrap it up. So thank you so much for coming in and letting me show off our product. And if you have any questions, reach out to Gary or Rebecca, and they will be happy to help you with that. And you can probably go to sales@asbex.com if you wanted to send them an email. All right, well, thank you, everyone.
Great. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, you too. Talk to you later.